I've said to them this morning, I've been sitting on this since you sent it all out to us about a week and a half ago, I've been sitting on this going, wait until everybody hears this.
Yeah.
Because before this moment, we could debate it and talk about, well, here's what's good about home-based and here's what's good about center-based. But the study is in, and it's clear. 85%. In fact, Kelby has, if you're a visual person, Kelby has a graph there to show exactly what 85% more looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody could hear that and not say, well, I think I need to be doing center-based services, honestly.
Well, we ran 2 different analyses on this, right? So just to make sure that we had covered all of our bases.
Okay.
So what we did is we first pulled out kids that were receiving, and actually some adults too, not just young kids. Those that were receiving only home-based services and those that were receiving the center-based services.
Okay.
And so we then contrasted their rate of learning per hour at the 2 different locations.
Okay.
And in that analysis, we found the kids that were receiving center-based versus those that were only home-based, they're learning about 80% more per hour of every hour of treatment, and another 80% mastered than they do at home. We did a second analysis because maybe there's something that is about the kids, the adults that receive services at home. We wanted to look at that and make sure that it wasn't an apples to oranges contrast.
Okay.
So then we did a second analysis that looked at the same kids that are receiving both center and home services. And we then contrasted, so within the same child, when they're at home, what's their rate of learning? And then when they go to the center, what's their rate of learning? And in that analysis, we found that when they go to the center, it's 85% more per hour than when they were at their homes.
Okay. So very conclusive. And I'm fascinated as a parent about what this is going to mean for families, what it's going to do. I know that the Center for Autism and Related Disorders was already going to a model that was center-based. It's a model that I believe insurance really pushes for. And I think in a lot of ways it's a better model for families. I didn't have the benefit of a center-based system. There are parts of it that I think parents have said, oh, I don't want to do that because. I don't want to do that because it will mean that we're driving. Whereas before it was the therapist that was driving. But I want parents to think about that. Think about that for just a second. We used to have doctors who made house calls. Yeah. We did. And the doctor would come to the house. But the problem was the doctor was on the horse for an hour to get to your home. And that was an hour where their expertise was not in use. Yeah. And when you think about all the therapists that we need to get what we need, if we're sending them all for an hour a day in the car, what we could accomplish with that hour alone, to me, that makes a case for the center base. Yeah. But then when you pile on that the kids learn more, we have to adapt as parents. And I'm always saying to you guys, this is so worthwhile. Find the way. Yeah. Find the way to do this. 80 to 85% more, depending on which way you're looking at it. Stunning. Were you guys surprised?
I was surprised it was that high. We've had, good reason to suspect that it was going to be better, but to actually go through the data and look at it, my first glance was, this is too good to be true. Yeah. And, so then it was like, go back to the original data, look at it, make sure it's clean, that we pulled it out of the database correctly. And then to again, run the analyses over again, find the same results, it was really exciting at that point. Yeah. Which is then why we immediately started trying to tell our people, like, look, this is important to make this transition. I like to look at what we're doing in autism treatment as that there's a developmental debt, that our kids are delayed, and that we're trying to help them get caught up. And that every hour of treatment is a payment towards that debt. Wow. And so what we essentially are saying here is, let's say you're paying off that debt at $1. Well, if you do it at the center, it's paying off $1.85 instead. And again, so as we're trying to catch these kids up, we're trying to help them make as much progress as possible. For me, I know it's inconvenient to drive. That's more time on the road. It's time. It upsets family life, but it's almost double the outcome.
Yeah.